Hello and welcome to the live stream of Jupiter. I know it doesn't, this looks a little weird, monochrome. I'll turn the color on in a second. I am trying to do a little bit of time-lapse with the video here. So what I'm doing now is I am taking 1,000 frames of video of Jupiter. So you can see it started my 9th one here. It's taking 47 FPS. And I'm taking them every 2 minutes, and then when I have enough frames, I can turn it into a time-lapse, which I did with the video that I uploaded earlier today. So once this is done, I'll turn the color on, and we'll have 2 minutes until my next one. There we go. Turn the color on. So what the color on does is I'm just debayering it. When I turn this off, we see the monochrome version of it, so it just assumes it just records in RAW, which comes out as monochrome, and then when we process it later, it turns color. And this is pretty similar to what we would see in through an eyepiece. It'll actually be a little bit brighter in the eyepiece, but the features of Jupiter are a little bit better. We can see 3 moons here. I believe they're Io, Europa, and Ganymede, but I can check. I'll show you how I check. In Stellarium. Let's see. Okay. Right. So I'm going to turn this back off because I think it records in RAW whether I have it on or not. A minute, but I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to do not a video capture. Window capture, okay. Am I doing window capture? Live streams are hard. I don't know how anybody does it. I'm missing something. Display capture. There we go. Okay. Switching it to display capture, and I can bring over Stellarium, and you can see Stellarium here. And if we look at Jupiter, if I zoom in, it'll tell me exactly. So you can see that it's upside down. If we look at the remote desktop screen again, you can see that they're in reverse order. So upside down. So yeah, I was off. So it's Io, Ganymede, and then Europa. Callisto's all the way out here. It's way out of frame because I'm using my ASI533MC Pro, which has a 1-inch camera sensor. It's way too small. And I'm using a Barlow, so I'm looking at this at 3000mm focal length. And I think, yeah, this is done. So I can turn color back on. I'll keep this on, and then I'll do this disable debayering whilst recording, so it looks a little bit better. And then if I turn up I'm recording at 18 FPS. If I turn up the exposure, you can see the other moons. There's a little bit of internal reflection here. I think that's on my telescope, but when I process it, it should go away. Turn the gain up. There you go. I'm pretty sure I'm focused. Pretty sure. If you're wondering why this is on top of my frame, is because I noticed there was some drift on my mount, so it was pushing down a little bit, so I put it up so that I buy myself some time before I have to go back outside and readjust it. I don't have my mount connected to Fire Capture, so I can't control it through here. Let's see. DevNull220 asked, is your telescope remotely controlled? No, my telescope or mount is not remotely controlled. I found Jupiter manually, and then I'm letting it run, let's see, turn myself back on. I'll come back on screen. Now my telescope and mount are not remotely controlled. They're running on just by itself. Normally I do control it remotely, but not when I do Planetary. What is being remotely controlled is this laptop that's running outside, so I'm just connecting to it via remote desktop so I can control the imaging. So my camera is remotely controlled, my mount and telescope are not. Good question. If we look back at Stellarium, I'm actually waiting for the big red spot to come up, and I think it'll come up at around 10. Here's the date and time. So if I go forward in time, where are you? There it is. Yeah. So at like 10:04, it'll appear here. And then if I can record for about half an hour before it disappears behind the tree, I'll be very happy. I'll get a pretty nice time lapse. And before I forget, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to click on auto run, and then I'm going to start my auto run again to take 10 more frames. 1,000 frames. And I usually stack 40 to 50% of them, depending on what they look like. And I'll show you what one of my finished products look like from last time I did it, last week, if you haven't seen it. So when I stack them and process it, this is what it looks like. Here we have Europa, Io, and Ganymede here. It's a little bit slightly different orientation, and then I could play the time lapse too. I lost my screen, so I have no idea where I'm looking. I'll play the time lapse really quickly. As soon as I can get it to load. Media player, let's start from the beginning. Play it one more time and hide myself. There we go. I'm pretty happy with this one. This is definitely my best time lapse that I've done so far. Maybe I'll get an even better one this time. We'll see. Done. Turn the color back on. Oh, I'm recording at way higher FPS than I wanted to. You can see the atmosphere is pretty turbulent. It's pretty wobbly, but still not bad. Not the worst I've seen. Thank you, Devnal. 77 seconds, so we can see the planets again. This this little the halo does look a little bit weird to me the more I think about it. So I don't know if I need to go out and refocus, but I think it looks good. Like you can see the bands of Jupiter. Like once I tone this down more, and then when I stack them, it's gonna look even better. I turn on gamma. This gets brighter that way too, but I don't like shooting with gamma. DevNull asked, what software do you use to capture and then stack? So to capture, I'm using the software called Fire Capture. It's free. I'll bring that up, show you where to get it. It's not open source, but it is free. It's been around for a long time, and it's compatible with a lot of different cameras and every OS. The one thing I do want to try is on Raspberry Pi to see if I can maybe automate some of this. But it's really hard with Lucky imaging. You need to be able to see what you're recording. But it works with QHY and ZWO ASI cameras. These are the only two cameras that I have. This software does not work with DSLRs. You need an Astrocam, one of these. And I use it on a Windows laptop that sits outside. There's some really good videos from years ago. It's been updated since then. But there are a lot of things you can do, including taking filtered shots. You can also do auto guiding, so you can actually you can connect your telescope, your mount, to your laptop and let Fire Capture keep whatever you're recording centered for hours and hours and hours. And the auto run feature is my favorite. That's what I'm using now to create a time lapse. And there's some tutorials here. And I also have some videos that I did on Saturn a couple years ago where I used Fire Capture, or last year, where I used Fire Capture to record. And for stacking, I use something called Auto Stacker. It's another free software. It's not open source, but it is really good. It hasn't been updated in a while. You can see the last update is from 2020, and that's just the post. I don't think the software itself has been updated since like 2016, but it still works. This works really well. And what this does is it takes each frame from the video, it analyzes it to see which frame looks good, and then it pretty much assigns a priority number to them. So if you say stack 40%, it'll stack the best 40% of the frames out of however long your video is. The longest video I've ever stacked is, I think, 30,000 frames, which is about 15 minutes, I want to say, from a DSLR. It works really well. And that's for Planetary, and then I process it in another application called AstroSurface. This one, the website looks really old, but this is the newest software out there with all of this, and it's not the most intuitive, but it can do a lot. It's really powerful, especially when it comes to planetary processing. I also use this for some of my solar stuff, but I did stop using this for solar a couple of months ago, and I moved on to IMPPG. But this is really good, and you can see that it was updated less than a month ago on October 23rd. The developer here is pretty active, and he fixes bugs and brings in new features pretty often. It's pretty amazing. Thanks, DevNull. Those are some great questions. I think for the rest of the live stream, I'm just going to go off camera, let this run. I'll keep turning on debear mode. Other people can come in, go back, see what I've said. If there are questions, if I come back, I'll come back on camera and answer them. Otherwise, I have about 40 minutes left before Jupiter goes behind a tree. So I'm hoping I can get enough frames for me to do a cool time lapse of where Jupiter spins and the Great Red Spot comes into view. Yeah, I wish I could record this for 10 hours, then I'd get the whole planetary rotation, but I can't. So, anyways, if you have questions, let me know. I'll be on and off, but for the most part, I'll be off, going in and out. And I think the baby woke up, so I have to help put him to bed. Back to bed. So. Hey, sorry, I'm back. Before I left, I mentioned that it's nighttime. My infant woke up, so I had to go and help put him back to sleep since my wife was dealing with him. I see I missed a bunch of questions, including a bunch of ones that Streamlabs deleted from Fort Worth Astronomical Society. It's Chris from there. I know him really well. I don't know why it deleted it, but I am going to see if I can restore them. But I can see the questions. I will read through them and add them. He asked, "Is your bearing not set right?" So when it records, it turns off debearing. So I had this thing checked that says disable debearing of preview whilst recording. I thought that it would turn back on by itself when it starts recording, but obviously it didn't do that. So yeah, it looked weird there. It's still paused here. Next question was, I was going to drag out the 11-inch, but I have no energy tonight. Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, good luck. Definitely worth doing if you can. He also said you can also get faster frame rates, easier processing if you crop your window capture. Just make sure it's 2 times bigger than your target. Yeah, it's already. I already have a ROI set here, so it's already a lot faster than it normally would be at full frame. But yeah, I'm getting like 60 FPS. It's running on USB 2 because my laptop does not have USB 3 support. It's an old laptop. Yeah, too long of messages. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll see if I can, like, I know you really well, so I'll see if I can add you to like a whitelist or something to let you do as long of messages as you want. Well, we'll see. Let's see. Smoss guy. Hi everybody. Hey. Welcome. Seth, it's really nice tonight. Even caught details on my 4SE. Yeah, the Jupiter is amazing. Like, I've caught this with my 300mm telephoto lens, like the stock kit lens. It works really well. Like, Jupiter is bright enough, big enough that you can actually see some details on it if you use the right exposures, and you can also overexpose it and see the moons around it. The 3 lights to the right of it, you can see it there, but those are Jupiter's moons. Yes, if I turn up the exposure a lot more, you can see them in a triangle format. I said before, I don't know what the halos are around the moons. They seem focused. It's a little bit weird. But if I open up Stellarium, which I had here, let me switch to that screen. Display capture. So yeah, you can see that the 3 moons are Io, Ganymede, and Europa. You can see that it's in reverse order, so if I were to rotate this around, then it would look like this. That's because the telescope flips everything when we're looking through it, so that's why it looks as an A instead of a V here. And Callisto is way out of frame here. It's just way too far for my 533MC Pro, which is a 1-inch square sensor. And I'm zoomed in at 3000 millimeters, so it's pretty deep in, and I can't see this whole thing. If you do the preview here, you can see that like all of these fit into my 533MC Pro, but Callisto is way out there. Let's set this back to 18, and I think the big red spot should be appearing, so I'm going to turn my I'll cancel this and I'll start this again. I do want to record in RAW, so when I turn this off, yeah, the bear goes like this. I think if I keep this on and keep this unchecked, it'll still record in RAW.ser and in mono, but let's test it out. Start auto run. What is the scope collimation causing coma? The scope is my NexStar 6 SE. I have a picture of it. It's collimated perfectly. I did a star collimation a couple of months ago. It's been a while, but it's the telescope holds collimation really well, and for a long time. I think I've only had to recollimate it once since I bought it in 2012. So I got it January 2012, coming up on its 12-year anniversary. Telescope. So this is the telescope, and yeah, this is pretty much the exact same setup as tonight. This is picture from last Friday, what today's video was about. And I think it could also be haze. I don't think it's haze or dew. I need to get back outside and check. But yeah, it's strange. I can show you what the final output from last week's setup looked like. Exact same setup. The moons were, there's kind of a little bit of halo here, I guess, but they were pretty sharp even when I increased the exposure. It's just, today's just a little bit weird. I'm not sure why. Thanks, Alexander. I don't have the Sir player on this computer. Otherwise, I'd played one of these, this last one, to make sure it was recorded properly. This is a really old laptop. I do need to get a new one, or I need to start using my gaming laptop for stuff like this. But anyways, thanks for all the great questions, everyone. The 11-inch needs a collimation check every time I move it. Ah, interesting. Bobs and knobs makes it much easier. Yeah, no, I agree. I have a 6-inch TPO F4? Yeah, F4 imaging Newtonian. I have bobs and knobs on it too. It also loses collimation pretty frequently, and those knobs are a wonder. Like, if I didn't have them, I don't think I would have used the Newt. But that has become my most of my deep sky stuff. I use that one, and sometimes I use my Nex 6SE with the 0.63 reducer for deep space stuff. What camera am I using? I said, oh, never mind, but I can talk about it anyway. It's my 533MC Pro. This one, zoom in. I would like to get myself like a Planetary camera, like I use like a 120MC or a QHY53 178M monocam for my solar imaging. I'd like to get a color one for Planetary imaging, and those usually have a smaller pixel size as well, better for Planetary. But this is what I have. This is the only color camera I have. This is what I use. The only thing I don't like about this with Planetary is that I still need to provide a 12-volt power, which isn't bad, but yeah, it can get annoying. Like, you need another wire when you don't really need it. The cooling is turned off. It's not on. It just needs a 12-volt power. And if I look at how many video files I have, 54, so that's divided by 2, which is 27. So I have 27 frames, about almost 2 seconds worth of images. And right now, I think the big red spot is in view. So if I go back, it's really hard to see here, but if you look at Stellarium, set the time to now. Oh wait, time 21:19. This doesn't look right. This is 9:19. Why is Stellarium off? I don't know, but I'm gonna skip forward in time. That's a weird one. So 22:19 is when I am right now. And I have maybe 15 minutes before Jupiter disappears behind a tree, so this live stream isn't going to go any longer. Let's see, what did you say? Alexander, I heard that people say that the SUB105 is a good Planetary cam. It's like $50. Oh man, Streamlabs is blocking Chris again. Yeah, I'll look into that after the stream. Sorry about that, man. But I can see the deleted message says, don't bother, I have used the small Planetary cams. They are a pain with SCTs, the sensor is too small, and it's hard to find the target. Yeah, I can see that happening. I did actually look at the SV Bony SV105. It's interesting. It's cheap. It's very tempting, but yeah, usually like when something is too good to be true, it sometimes is. And I'd rather just spend another $150 than get like a 178 MC or something, or $200 more. I do have a friend telling me that there's haze in the atmosphere. My buddy Nathan, he's also looking at Jupiter now. So the coma here could be haze in the atmosphere. I don't know. They are pretty bright and but I'm doing this for the time lapse, so I think if the moons look weird, I'll just crop in here and just see the planet rotating. Don't need to see the moons dancing. Chris, you use the ASI533MC Pro and just use the smaller ROI. Crop is needed. Yeah, pretty similar to the 533MC Pro, but I think the 183 has a bigger sensor. Right. Let's see. Bigger sensor and smaller pixel size, 2.4 microns. That's great. Yeah, the 533MC Pro has a 3.75 micron pixel size, which is not the best for planetary. So Chris from Fort Worth Astronomical Society has the 183MC Pro with the small pixels, and yeah, that's a way better planetary camera. Cool. Do you get any amp glow on that? So we got some haze, cloud cover here in MA, still amazing to Western. Hey, yeah, hi, I'm in Massachusetts too, right outside of Boston. Yeah, I saw some clouds earlier. I hoped that they would go away, and I think they did. But yeah, it's still a little chilly and hazy. Bigger sensor, smaller pixels, yeah. I had a question, how do you make Jupiter whiter without a UV IR pass filter? So I don't have a UV IR pass filter, and the way I processed it, if I look at this, it's kind of whiter, and this is in post processing, and what I do is I set a white balance here. So what I'll do is I'll zoom in and then pick like an area where I think is white in astro surface, and then it just balances the whole thing for me. And you can run it multiple times with different settings to see what looks good, and you can look up images of Jupiter on Google on like what Hubble captured and try and match it. That's pretty much what I did, and that image you just saw is from last week. No amp glow. Yeah, not that it matters for such. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I got the 533MC Pro. It was between that and the 294 MC Pro, which had amp glow. 183 would have been nice too. IR cut filter. Yeah. I don't use that for either DSO or planetary. I rely on post processing to figure it out. Yep, always use darks. Yep. I have a whole dark library as well. Dark library, and I take flats every time I go out. Oops. Alright, just took another frame. Just seeing if the coma got any better. No, they look the same. Yeah, it's very strange. I wonder if it's the atmosphere. But I'll see what happens once I process it. And I don't know if I can see the big red spot anywhere. It should be coming up like here if it's opposite Stellarium, right? It'll be on the top left. Here maybe. It's 10:24. I don't know how long I have before this thing disappears behind a tree. And when that starts happening is when I will end this live stream and then start processing this overnight. You have the 2600MC Pro, but have not had time to use it. Oh, that's a really good one. Is that a crop sensor or a full frame? I think it's crop sensor. I think it's crop sensor, right? Because the 6200 is a full frame. Cool. If you do try it tomorrow, good luck. I'd love to see what you take with it. Yeah, the spot should be there. You can't really see it. See how long I have until my next frame. 37 seconds. Can I? It's really hard to see with the exposure. What if I turn on gamma? Maybe it's here. I don't know. We'll see. If I miscalculated where the tree is and I can go for another 20 minutes, then it should be more visible. So we'll see. Stellarium says as it's already there, or yeah, that's true. Yeah, Stellarium does show it. So and this is the current time, 22:26. For some reason, when I click on set time to now, it takes me back 1 hour. We didn't do daylight saving time yet, did we? Did I miss this? No, my computer would have updated. Yeah, that makes no sense. I'll check Stellarium later. Maybe my time zone was set. Oh, I know what I did. Alright, that's my fault. Let's see, APS-C yep. And I have a Canon 5DS full frame. Oh, that's a sweet camera. That is a sweet camera, yeah. Where is my location? There we go. Yeah, I set it to San Antonio. I did it because of a video I made. Come on. Okay, there we go. Still thinks I'm in the past. Okay. I'll figure that out later. But let's go back to here. No, it's that. Yeah, that's what I figured. No, what I did was so I set my location to San Antonio, Texas, which is in Central Time, for a video I made on annular solar or total solar eclipse, one of those, and I forgot to set it back. So I've been using Stellarium for the past month on San Antonio coordinates, and I just realized it. If I restart Stellarium. I don't know if you have any opinions, but I think we should stay on daylight saving time. It's better for astronomers. Darker earlier. My wife disagrees though. How long of a video are you making of Jupiter? So I started this at if I look here at 9:09 p.m. and it's 10:29, so I've been going for about an hour and 20 minutes. I am going to go as long as possible. So it's already 80 minutes, and on last Friday I did 80 minutes, so I'm caught up to what I did last Friday. I don't think I'll be able to go another half hour because of and I've said it a bunch of times, trees and clouds. Clouds won't appear, but my back here has a big tree. It'll get in the way. Maybe I can do another 15 minutes, so an hour and 40 minutes, I would say. And yeah, my Stellarium is still acting weird. So I set the location. You can see it's East Arlington, Massachusetts. Arlington, Massachusetts. That's where I am now. And if I set time to now, it still thinks it's 9:30 p.m. That is strange. That is strange. Yeah. So strange. Huh. Okay. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Maybe Stellarium did daylight saving a few days before us. I never did Planetary, but I thought you can't make a very long video and stack them because Jupiter. That's true. Yeah. So what I'm doing is, oh, sorry, I may have misunderstood your question. So I'm doing 1,000 frames each. This one here, this 11 gig file, is actually 5,000 frames, but these are all 1,000 frames, and you can see so it's counting down. So we'll see how long it is. So it'll start counting. So this is what and I think it's only about like 20 seconds, 30 seconds at most. So they're 800. So yeah, it'll be about 20-second videos. 20. Yeah, there you go. About 22-second videos. So I don't have to worry about Jupiter rotating in these frames. They're only about 1,000 frames. With that said, so I think, all right, this is getting like really much dimmer. I wonder what's happening. It could be going behind the tree. I think that's right. I think they'll start disappearing. Well, anyways, so I think this is going behind a tree. I can see the moons disappearing. They're getting much dimmer. They're much harder to see. So I think this is when I'll call it a night with the live stream. It was amazing talking to all of you, everyone, present and past, who have come and asked questions. I will do more of these later on if I can. But for now, I bid you all clear skies.